team. It is Friday, and I am really excited to come to you. I was doing a training this morning with Catherine Kramer's team, and they asked me for some new ambassador launch training. So I'm going to start a series of just some new ambassador training information. And one of the first things on our list was posting on Facebook. So does Facebook scare anybody out there? Here's a little tip. If you were a previous Facebook user prior to Plexus, then you already have an audience. You already have people that are curious to see what you're doing every day, where you're traveling, what's going on in your life. That's already established. If you are a new Facebook or social media user, you're going to have a little bit tougher time, but it's totally doable. Establish a group. Establish a presence on Facebook. Talk about your life. Talk about maybe not super personal, but what's been going on? What are you doing this weekend? Take some pictures and let people in. And so part of Plexus and network marketing is really relationship marketing. It's building relationships. And I will say that over the last, 7 years of Facebook for me, that I've established some relationships that maybe I didn't have before, or rekindled relationships. Maybe even better now than they were when I was in high school or we were in college together or just in the workforce. So I would really encourage you to have some type of social media presence. If social media scares you and if that's something you're just not comfortable with or not willing to engage in, then I am going to ask you to be very intentional about how you will reach people and the mass amount of people. So you can usually only send about 100 emails a day. Otherwise, email thinks you're sending spam. So I would encourage you to get a service called MailChimp, MailChimp, and it will allow you to send mass quantities of emails to people. I would establish a newsletter of some sort with some information about Plexus, and you'll probably want to update that every couple of weeks and send that out to your entire email group. That's a really great way. If you don't feel like social media is for you, it's a great way to contact a lot of people at one time. Also, some people are really phone people. I know that Julia Carty talks about actually picking up the phone and talking to people. That is not a gift of mine, and it's not a comfort zone for me. So I tend to avoid the phone. I tend to love private messaging, emailing, and texting. But if being on the phone is easier for you, you're going to want to establish a list of people that you contact and people you want to contact. So even if you are using social media or not using social media, you need to have a 100-person list. That's a different video. So posting on Facebook. When I signed up on November 30th of 2013, I posted on Facebook November 30th of 2013, but I was already a customer. I already had a story. I had a little bit of a story. So we'd only been customers for a few months, but I knew I saw differences for Ella and I. But immediately I told Rosalind's story, Celeste's story, Susan Stern's story, and I think closely after that I told Caroline French's story. These are stories of people I knew and people that were on my team. And as my team grew, I got to share more and more stories. So if anyone is on the A team, which you should be if you're watching this video, and you've seen a story or a testimonial out there, you are welcome to share it. I would give credit to the person whose story it is. I would not hijack it as your own story, but I would make sure to share that immediately, even if you've never tried the product. Sarah Roten does a really good video that you can search on the page and talk about how she paid for her welcome pack before she ever even got it. She'd never even tasted the pink drink. She actually got someone else to come by and bring it to her, and she bought it from them, from another ambassador on Celeste's team, just so she could try it, but she'd never even tasted it. So I would encourage you to just get out there and start saying, this is why I decided to join Plexus. My friend Andrea was, annoying me, and I decided to take a look at it, and I really wanted to, say all these horrible things about it, but I couldn't. I really need some gut health. I really need some constipation relief. I really need some help in inflammation, or, she was talking about how it helped her thyroid. I'd love to see if it helps mine, and just a lot of different things. So you can post a different story. You can post just your upline story. I decided to join because Kim Pollock encouraged me to, and this is Kim's story. So get out there and post. And here's the thing about getting out there and post. How much of it's about you? When I posted about Plexus, I really did it because I knew I had some friends that really needed the products. Some of them are on my team. And I knew that gut health mattered to them. I knew inflammation mattered to them. I knew really good products mattered to them. And I knew it mattered more to me to get out there and share the products than it mattered what anybody else thought. So it took a couple of weeks, and I got an email from, I believe, Ellen Ford, thinking that she and Barry thought that my Facebook page had been hijacked for this company called Plexus. One of my dear friends, Stephanie, who's not on my team, still one of my best friends, contacted me and said, hey, I think something's happening to your Facebook page. Because I had never sold anything on Facebook before. I'd never really promoted something this intently. So people thought something was wrong with my Facebook page. And I'd say, no, it's just a product I really care about. Opened up some dialogue. Some people cared, some people didn't. And some people got annoyed. And some people actually wrote mean things on Facebook. And then I private messaged them and said, this is my business. This is my livelihood. This is something that's helping Ella and I medically. I would never do anything to defame or defraud you. And so I think, if you will be honest with people and say, hey, you don't have to take it. You don't even have to follow me. In fact, you can unfriend me on Facebook. But please don't be mean. It's just not necessary. I think that really goes a long way. Some people from our church that kind of love to make fun of it. When I said I would never do the same thing to your ministry, they stopped because they got it. In fact, one of them came back and said, we wish we could do with our ministry what you're doing with Plexus, just getting the word out there. And so it's really interesting to watch people's reactions. But how much do you think people focus on you on Facebook? I can guarantee I had about 1,300 to 1,500 Facebook friends before Plexus. I never really thought about whether someone was selling or not selling something. It didn't make or break my day. During football season, pro and college football season, there are a lot of opinions out there. Oh my goodness, people right now, are you unfriending people that don't have the same political view as you? Because I'm not. I mean, do they annoy me? Yes. Do I scroll past them? Yes. Do I read their comments? No. But they're still my friends. I still want to see what's going on in their personal lives. So even though their political comments drive me nuts, much like sometimes our Plexus posts might drive other people nuts, they're still my friends. I still want to friend them on, I just scroll past whatever I'm not interested in. Same thing during football season, like I was mentioning. Same thing during whatever it is at the time that you really don't care about, but everyone else is talking about. Oh, that dress, like what color is it? Is it blue or gold or whatever? I missed all of that because I was on a flight when it kind of blew up and I got off the plane. I was very confused. But I just would scroll past it. It didn't register with me. And so be willing to be someone that people scroll past if it's not something that's important to them. But make your posts matter. So they will stop. They will read. They are interested because it's personal to you. Facebook has an algorithm. The people whose posts you comment on and the people that comment on your post, those are the people that will see you the most in their newsfeed. And those are the people you will see the most in your newsfeed. So if you comment on a bunch of Plexus people's posts, you will get a bunch of Plexus in your newsfeed. If you comment on a bunch of non-Plexus people, you'll get a bunch of them in your newsfeed. And vice versa, when they start to comment on your posts, be it personal or Plexus, they will start to see you in their newsfeed. So I do not see everything that y'all post. I do not see everything that even my dearest friends post. And Becky Page or Ellen or Julia or Roz or Celeste will post something. And if I don't see, they'll say, well, didn't you see that I posted it? I'm like, no, it doesn't show up in my newsfeed all the time. So even though there's some of my, dear friends that I talk to and I comment on pretty much everything they post, you would think it would show up, but it doesn't. Facebook has an algorithm. So don't think that if you post 3 times a day that your friend Sally is going to see all 3 of your posts, because there's a good chance she won't. And again, focus on not being annoying. And annoying means that you're just posting graphics or that you're just posting just sales pitches. So just wanting people to buy. Post personal things about how Plexus is changing your life. And it doesn't necessarily have to be exactly what your bathroom situation is going on, but that you slept better last night. Like, oh my gosh, I can get through 3 piles of laundry today. Post a picture of your laundry. And people connect with that. That's what resonates with people. And not a post of some random runner running and you saying Plexus gives you more energy. It's just not personal. Again, we've talked about email versus social media. I think using both is wonderful. But social media, you're going to reach a lot more people if you have a lot of friends on social media. My leaders post. There isn't a single leader on my team who their team sees as a leader who doesn't post. I did, around the time I went to Emerald or Sapphire, a friend on our team named Lydia called me or messaged me and said, oh, so when you get to a certain level, you don't have to post anymore? And I realized I'd stopped, that I'd gotten so comfortable or I'd gotten so busy training and growing that I had stopped posting, and my team saw that. So leaders in our team and people that they view as leaders, they post. And then I would just encourage you, if you're not an active Facebook user, to become more active personally, to post more about, just a daily thing that you find interesting. I would really encourage you not to use the share button ever for any reason. I don't care if it's funny. I don't care if it's a cute graphic. I don't care if it's Plexus or non-Plexus. The share button gets scrolled past on my newsfeed the entire time. I will unless it's a video that I kind of think might be funny, I might stop and watch it. But for the most part, if someone shares something, or if I go through someone's Facebook page and it's just all a bunch of like shares from random radio stations and other pages, that's strange. That's not personal. That's not social media. Social media is really getting out and letting people see a glimmer into your life. And it's not going to be a full view. None of us are going to see the full picture of what it looks like to live your life. And you don't have to show that. But I would definitely be intentional every day to share something personal that's not Plexus and then something that is Plexus. So I really want to encourage you to get out there, post. The first one's maybe the scariest. I didn't think it was. I just didn't think I mattered that much to people that watch Facebook. I was a little surprised. So I would also say be consistent with your Facebook posting. So do not stop. Even if you think everybody in the world might be annoyed by your Facebook posts, just don't stop. Believe enough in the products and in the business that you're willing to get out there and be a little uncomfortable to help somebody else's life. I think a lot of times we forget how many people we're helping. But when I've stood up in meetings recently and I've watched the leaders lead, and it was interesting because I saw Kim Pollock get up, who was one of my dearest friends, but then Toy got up and spoke, and I would have had no contact with Toy outside of Kim, and it changed her life, and she's gotten to quit her job that she thought she'd have forever. And then when Toy got up and spoke, then it changed. Then Brian Broad got up and spoke, and when he spoke, I knew I would have no contact with him as well. And it's just interesting how that goes down the chain. There are people's lives on our team that are changed because I was a little bold about posting on Facebook, and I posted. I'm luckily Rosalind posted, luckily Celeste posted, and luckily Jen strong-armed Celeste into joining the company. But think about what just the domino effect of you posting, whose lives you could change by just getting out there and encouraging people with the products. I hope y'all have a really great weekend.